this program because they want to change the world, and all they have to do, when is it gonna happen? And so then there is this little tail, the internship there then has to all get projected into, but that's, still doesn't cut it for a lot of people. But I think this is my intuition, is that this I feel is really valuable and very necessary as a prerequisite for that. But how valuable and good this was will only be measured by this as well. So they really depend on each other. And I think this side, in an imagination that we had, is like, this is Yip 1 with a little bit of internship, and Yip 2 is this with a little bit of, maybe you start in Uttayana, or you have reflection or digestion phases or something like that. But it will be a reversal. And it could even be so that your internship is already in a place which you then later go for your, what do you want to call it, apprenticeship phase or something like that, that you would go to a similar or the same place. So that is a little bit some of the thoughts that have been had, to have on the one hand this and on the other hand that. And I think my suspicion is that the critique or the discomfort that people have in going really in, whilst they anticipate that if we were going to change the world, that would even be quieted down if you know that this is what you're doing now, and so you can go deep because that's what you're doing, and that's what Uttayana lends itself for, because it's secluded, it's out there, it has the seasons, it has all those things. And the shit isn't hitting the fan in Uttayana, but in other places it really is. But I think you could dive in this more comfortable and maybe in depth, knowing that this phase is also coming, and this needs to happen where the shit is hitting the fan. So yeah, that's, I think, if I try and put it a bit condensed and concise, is a little bit where we sit. And at the moment Yip is kind of trying to do all of this in 1 year, which is proven fairly difficult. And also this bit people feel quite lost in quite easily, because it happens anyway. You have to find your way to where the shit is hitting the fan and then find ways of working with it. And I think it could help if it was still in a framework of feeling a part of an education, or maybe have frameworks like keep check-ins happening, even if you are not in the same place because you chose a different project where you're doing your apprenticeship, but that you can have check-in moments with your peers in the same phase. Yeah, it's along those lines. Does it make sense? Are there questions about that? Yes.
So when I was thinking of this, like, my question is, how do you still frame it that the first phase also attracts the same kind of people, the people that's looking for initiative?
The program will be called the same.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
One question will be, can you access the second phase if you don't do the first phase?
Or the other way around. Can you be initiated somewhere else?
I would say that those are bridges to cross when we get there. I would like to set it up, and this is again, this is to diverge on that. I feel would make that we talk about it again in a couple of years, where if it can be owned by an organization that is currently holding down something like the first phase, if that is also the entrance point for the second phase, then that can help it incarnate or get real, and then it can diversify after that again. But I think it's helpful to try and land it first, and then to explore those kind of things. Maybe an additional, just an observation that I have of what the network is coming up with, which for me is really a question of what this is, but the half-seat house and Casa de Sel, I find interesting because in Järna the hub is Talavana, if you like, that everybody attends, but then maybe it's a network of these kind of nodes that people can go to where they do their more apprenticeship phase. And they're actually, someone is into microfinancing because that's really their kind of thing, and someone else is working with permaculture design in an urban setting, and they don't necessarily work together during the day, but they share the house or something as a community still. That could also be quite a powerful model, so that these kind of hubs would actually be the anchor points for the people in the second phase. And then it can then double, because then people can snow in and out and join those communities. Grace?
I have a question around kind of this, like whether it would be residential or not, and just with the awareness that Yip has produced families and babies, and whether that would be welcome in that phase as well, because that is the one of the incarnations of post-Yip phase, is that there are children involved, and whether they would be welcome in that setting, whether children would be welcome in that setting.
And for me, that's another bridge.
Yeah.
Just to put it out there.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you see the second year then more as doing an apprenticeship in an already existing project? Because like my first idea was the second year could be the space to actually go for one of your own ideas or in teams together. And that's what I did after Yip, and which felt awesome to have really my own. Because we already have the internship in the first year, but then because we have all the tools after Yip, you have all you need to go for your own idea. And if we then have a little support system like a community or check-ins or mentors, I think that would be kind of very, very helpful, and that would be my vision somehow.
Yeah, I would make that a slightly dependent on a to-be designed process in the first phase, because at the moment I don't see that everybody would be comfortable and willing and able to do what you did, and I don't know if that's a requirement. Maybe it is, but I think for some people it would actually still be helpful to be able to shadow an organization for some time. And then maybe there's yet another phase where they have the confidence or the push to then actually do their own, in a way. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
But I would definitely see, like, if you went to mission in your internship, and because if you're there for a month, you can't contribute yet, not really. You're gaining more, and you're getting an overview and maybe a feeling for what you could be doing, and then your second phase would be doing it, what you anticipated you could be doing in your first. So it could be a hybrid of it, that you are already also really giving back or doing something, but it's not necessarily your own project yet. It's still within the framework of another project.
I think there could be very different needs for people.
But I don't think it would be so hard to combine the two, no? Like,
No.
whether you work on your own project or whether there's some structure set up for people who don't really know yet, and then
Yeah. But this is where, for me, in phase one, towards the end of it, you would have to have a whole design process for phase two with the people in phase one, and that might determine whether someone is doing their own or whether they're still in another. So then it could be both, and depending on their need. I see you. I just want to take Manik at his hand, and then Charlotte.
It's not so connected, you can speak first.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was on the different needs. I would like also the possibility if you go and study something else with kind of a sport as also being a possibility. And I also had the idea of having kind of a mentorship where every person that's just done phase one gets a mentor from the alumni network. So there's alumni, they can say, okay, I want to be a mentor of one of the new alumni.
and then you have this one-on-one person that's gone through the whole life after Yip. How am I gonna do that stuff?
Very nice.
Nice. Are you taking notes, Sophie? Thank you.
Mentors being alumni, you said.
Yeah. So I could